Hi guys, it's me Ty here, and today I'm going to talk about what to do if your um, 2008 Honda Fit is idling excessively high. So my Honda Fit, it's always idled at like I'd say about 1500 RPM in the 4 years I've owned it, and now it's currently at 238,000 miles on it, and it had ran great before that and everything. But I noticed that my starter, um, I don't know, probably like every 3 days, it would I'd hop in the car or whatever, and it was almost like I didn't turn the key enough or something, or and I was like, what the heck? And I thought it was all my fault or whatever. And after 3 days, I was like, I think my starter's going out because usually a starter will kind of act up a little bit, and then you know that you got to get to a shop. And the Honda starters are not something that you guys want to do on the side of the road. You got to have the car jacked up. You got to it's a 9 hour job, is how long it took me. I had to come in from the top and bottom and all that. So, and I already made a video about how to replace the starters on these guys. So, on a Saturday, I went ahead and I put in my new starter from eBay, less than $50. They're really affordable nowadays, you guys. And I ended up having to unhook a lot more sensors than I expected because I've had the battery out, the air cleaner out, and the entire intake manifold off before. And um, and I I know how to do all that, but once I got down the starter, it all looked open and everything. But I had to take the oil filter off. Uh, there was a sensor right behind the starter that you couldn't slide the starter out of there, and all that. So I unhooked a lot of stuff, you guys. And After I put it all back together, I went to fire up the car, and the car was idling at like 1800 RPM. It was just going crazy, and I drove it for maybe like 3 days trying to figure out what it was. And then I went ahead and I ordered and so I hooked up the code reader at that point, and I had two codes with it, you guys. So um the first one is a P2279, and it's called an intake air system leak. And then the second code that it also tripped was a P0507, idle air control system, high RPM higher than expected. Okay, so with the intake leak there, I was like, man, did I forget a bolt? Because I did see that a bolt was left over this time, and I wasn't sure where that went. Um, so I went ahead and I inspected it all over there, and I hooked up a smoke machine, and I just could not find anything on it, you guys. The smoke was kind of coming out everywhere um, on it, and so I went ahead and I decided that, well, obviously, the first thing I want to tackle is the intake air system leak because usually and then also another symptom of it, you guys, was uh, even down the highway, it was idling high. You would think with a usually that vacuum, you only have trouble at idle, not at highway speeds. Well, it was pushing through the cruise control. Like around town, I would set the cruise control at 39 miles an hour, and it was trying to hold the car back, but the car was just powering right through it. It was getting it up to 43 to 44 miles per hour there. And I was like, man, I'm going to end up getting a speeding ticket over this. That car was just not happy. Uh, so, um, what I ended up doing is I ordered a couple new boots there. So on your air cleaner box, you have uh, that rubber boot that goes that hooks your air cleaner box into your throttle body opening where the butterfly is. It's big, and I think I had to order that from Europe. In the United States, I could not find it, and I forgot what the name of it is, you guys. And then Also the little rubber grommet that is embedded in the side of the air cleaner box too, that hooks onto a metal or a metal pipe or whatever. That was ripped, and I tried wrapping some electrical tape on it, but it did not help with those evap codes, and I had to erase the evap codes each time. So I replaced that as well, and then I also ordered in the complete intake manifold gasket set. And what that came with was a kind of a triangle or oval shaped one that goes in the end of your plastic intake manifold on the top or whatever, where it butts up against the throttle body. I replaced that, and then The next gasket that I replaced in the intake was uh, 4 little circles of rubber. Those had to be replaced. And then the kit also came with a metal gasket that almost looked like a head gasket or whatever. I put that in. And then I also ordered the EGR chamber metal gasket as well. And that goes up on the front of your lower intake. It bolts onto there. It's got I think it's like 6 little 10 millimeter screws or bolts or whatever that hold that on there. So I replaced that, and I had noticed when I pulled off the intake and everything, like some of the bolts there, they broke loose really easy. And the initial time that I'd done it, because like I said, this is my third time of tearing it apart here. Uh, I'd used a 3/8 ratchet for pretty much everything. Well, this time I used a 1/4 inch drive ratchet with a lot of extensions and swivels, and it just made it easier to get at everything. But that does not give you enough torque. So this time I went ahead and I torqued all of them. I pretty much crushed the metal gasket, all of that with a 3/8 drive ratchet. Just get them good and tight. And then what else did I replace? Thought I ordered a few different boxes here. I think that might have been it, you guys. So, oh, and then I also replaced the valve cover gasket because that was leaking. I noticed here on this end, and that came with a whole bunch of little bolts or whatever. And I do have a broken off stud in the back of the valve cover for the valve cover. So that sucks. I tried welding that and tried drilling it out. There wasn't much room. So I think it probably used Permatex on it for now. So I put it all back together, and the battery had been disconnected because before all this, I'd also done a Honda throttle relearn procedure multiple times, and that did not help me either. Still idle excessively high. So after having the car torn apart for a few hours here with the battery taken out of it, put the battery back in, hooked it up, and fired it up, and it was all good, you guys. And before I fired it up, I also erased all the codes that were in the system as well. And it idled at 850 RPM. This is the first time in the 4 years that I've owned this car that has ever idled at 850 RPM. I just thought these little 4 cylinders all idled high because my mom's 2013 that's in mint condition idles at 1500 RPM. This one's here is idling at 850, and it seems to be running really good. Um, so I took it on a lawn trip, brought it back home, checked the codes, and none of those codes came back. I just had a new code now, and it is P0497. It's evaporative emission system low purge flow. And what that means is that your vent, you have your fumes or whatever in your gas tank, and they go through a charcoal canister, and then they go up to the engine. This purge valve, it'll open, and it'll let all those fumes from your gas tank into your intake manifold so that those don't go off into the atmosphere. Well, that purge valve is not opening and allowing those fumes to come in there. And I checked on it, and it is a very low priority thing. So it's more for testing your emissions in your city. So I could get by without having to worry about it. But I just don't want all these things to pile up on me. So I am going to get that checked out. So um, I don't think it has anything to do with the intake, you guys. I think it's just it decided to go from me unhooking sensors and everything and then hooking them back up. Just some of the electrical wires or whatever broke. So I hope this helps you guys if you guys have those two codes. Oh, and then there was also another code. Um, it was a Honda specific code. I had to type in on my scan or my code reader of what year my car was and what make and model it was. And then it came up and it was something about the excessive idle RPMs or whatever as well. So it's pretty much just like that other one, except whenever it would trip that code, in one day it tripped it where I was going down the interstate and the car would barely move. And then I would shut the car off and it would reset the computer, and then I could go flying down the interstate at 80 miles an hour again. And then did it a second time, like 5 minutes later. And then in the 2 weeks that I was trying to troubleshoot and repair the car, it did that a couple more times at just random events, and I just shut it off. But it's definitely not good for the car of leaving an intake air leak there. And then I also did clean the throttle body out too, you guys. I noticed there was a lot of dirt and dust in there. Um, so one of those boots must have been really cracked or whatever. So I sprayed a whole bunch of carb cleaner in there and got a toothbrush and cleaned it all up. And I made sure that I did not mess with the butterfly valve in there, you guys, because I heard that can really um, throw the electronics away out of whack. You might have to go to a dealership. So I just took the toothbrush and I scrub, and I took paper towels and wiped them down, and then I'd spray more carb cleaner, get it all loosened up. So I got both sides of the throttle plate squeaky clean. And is there anything else that I did on that car? Thought there was one other thing, but that's pretty much what I did, and now it seems to be running good. So I hope this helps you guys. If you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe, and I will keep kicking out these Honda Fit repair videos for you guys. All right, take care.